Markowski's in the house next. Talking about job numbers and another stimulus plan.
World leaders at the G8 summit happening now in Italy couldn't seem to agree yesterday on whether enough money has been spent to revive the sagging world economy. But dismal job numbers here in the U.S. have our leaders murmuring about yet another stimulus package. Here to weigh in is the watchdog on Wall Street, Chris Markowski. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
All right, so I mentioned it, and we got to break it down a little bit. Dismal numbers about the job situation here. We recently found out, last week, lost almost 500,000 jobs just in June. The unemployment rate at a 26-year high at 9.5%. And you're saying,
mind you, we were told that if the stimulus package was passed, we wouldn't see unemployment above 8%. So, it's a bit of a disconnect here right now, and it looks like it could go much higher. Many economists predicting up close to 12% when all said and done.
And you were saying internally in that jobs report, there's some even more troubling numbers.
Yeah, it's called the household survey, basically talking about people who are self-employed, small business owners out there that are hiring people. Very, very dismal. And to be honest with you, a lot of this comes down to right now policy risk and uncertainty. There's so little working between both parties within Washington, D.C. in regards to whether it be health care, what's going to happen going forward, taxation, that small business owners like myself and many of my clients are saying to themselves, should I hire somebody? I want to expand, but I don't know what the cost is for bringing this person on.
Because some of these new policies we're talking about are going to cost small business owners a ton of new money. And so they're waiting to see how it all plays out.
Whether it costs some money or not, they just want to know what it is. There's nothing worse in the entire world as a small business owner when you're looking forward and you don't know what your costs are going to be 6 months, 8 months, a year down the road. You want to know what's my contribution going to be to FICA? What am I going to have to pay for health insurance? There's a cost for hiring each employee, and when you don't know what that is, you don't hire.
Okay, and relating to jobs, the White House is claiming that the stimulus so far has created or saved 150,000 jobs.
Now, in an effort to try not to be too sarcastic here, we lost 467,000 jobs last month. Maybe there's some sort of new math that I haven't been able to figure out. There's no economic metric. They're just basically throwing numbers out here. It's politics. Republicans, Democrats do the same thing.
Okay. And finally, Laura Tyson, who's one member of President Obama's economic team, has come out definitively and said this $787 billion stimulus package was, quote, a bit too small, calling for another one. Your thoughts?
We've spent less than 12, 16% in stimulus money so far. I don't know where this money is going to come from. I don't know where this money is going to go. News this morning, Germany has pulled out of their recession, yet they didn't have any stimulus package. I just think we need to back off a little bit, let the businesses heal here in this country, so then we can move forward.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. He'll be here with us all
Listen up, consumers. New red flags are being waved over a credit trap. This USA Today headline sums it up. Banks' courtesy loans at soaring rates irk consumers. So our watchdog on Wall Street, Chris Markowski, is back again to weigh in on the overdraft report. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
Okay, so let's talk about courtesy overdrafts, courtesy loans, because they're not courteous at all.
Well, I got to play both sides of the coin with this one.
Okay, we'll talk about pros, cons.
Okay, yeah. If you don't have enough money in your account and the bank covers it, you're avoiding your check being bounced, which can be very, very damaging to your credit report and actually is illegal, quite honestly. So the banks are going out of the way to do that. What they charge to go about doing that, yes. Is it excessive? Absolutely. Do the banks sometimes do some funny things and cash X checks first and then make you overdraft X amount of times? Absolutely. My problem with this is that nothing is going to change in our society. Nothing. There's no government regulations, no government rules that are going to change anything unless people vote with their wallet, vote with their pocketbook. If your bank does this to you, let's say you make an honest mistake one time,
and
you say,
and it happens. A lot of people have to deal with this.
Go to the bank and say, hey, listen, I've been a customer for X amount of period of time. This is ridiculous. It was an absolute accident mistake. More often than not, if they want to keep your business, if you put it to them like that, they're going to reverse those fees. If not, well then say, all right, goodbye, sorry, see you later, and go find another bank to work with. Until we start empowering ourselves and deciding who we want to do business with and stop being victims, this is just going to continue to happen.
Sure, and I love that you made that point because I'm one of those people, I am meticulous when it comes to paying off my credit card bill in full every month. And one month I just happened to miss the date, but I was going to pay it in full, called the bank, explained the situation, and they said, no problem, we'll take off the fee. My question is, though, a lot of banks have these fees. So if someone says, okay, I'm going to switch over to a new bank, won't they just encounter the same problem?
They may or may not. That's why you have to shop around for a bank in the same way that you would shop around for a doctor or financial advisor advisor or any other type of professional. Your relationship with your banker is an important one, I believe. Credit unions are a nice place to go to. A lot of people fail to realize that many credit unions are available to you just because if you live in a certain municipality. You don't have to be a school teacher or a member of any other type of union. You can participate in these things, and they tend to be a little bit more lenient in regards to stuff like this.
Absolutely, and we have about 20 seconds left, so what do you say to people about how important it is to keep track of your banking, all your transactions, because that seems to be a big part of it.
We're just getting over the 4th of July holiday, Founding Fathers, personal responsibility. That's what this country's all about.
Okay, Chris, thank you so much, and if you have any questions for Chris, head to our website, dailybuzznow.com, send us an email.
Hey, quarter to the hour. Welcome back to the Daily Buzz. World leaders at the G8 summit happening now in Italy couldn't seem to agree yesterday on whether enough money has been spent to revive the sagging world economy. But dismal job numbers here in the U.S. have our leaders murmuring about yet another stimulus package. Here to weigh in on all this is the Watchdog on Wall Street, Chris Markowski. Good morning, Chris.
Hi.
All right, so the job numbers have not been good recently. 9.5% unemployment, highest in 26 years. About 500,000 jobs lost in just the month of June. However, we did get a little glimmer of hope that's just out, saying that...
yeah, this week it was the weekly jobless claims. They dropped. I think it was about $50,000. Right. Crack staff here getting on top of that.
That's
right.
Before
we came on
just got
good job.
Which is good, but it's still high.
You got to understand how they calculate some of these jobs numbers. Every single month they factor in certain layoffs at certain points of times over the course of the year when the auto industry basically goes down for the summer for a period of time. They already did that, so they adjusted for that accordingly. So there's a little bit of nuance there. But last week's numbers were very, very poor, and one of the biggest aspects was the household number, which is in regards to a lot of small businesses.
Okay, to that end, we got an email here from Sandy in Lake Mary, and she says, you know, how is it that somebody who is already unemployed or perhaps even underemployed, what do they do? You know, do they go for a big company or a small company? How do they go about focusing on getting that job?
Well, and you always have to, in today's day and age especially, there's so much competition around the globe. You have to constantly be bettering yourself. Every single day, you've got to be reading more, you've got to be re-educating yourself, you've got to understand where your industry is going to go, because industries today may not be here tomorrow.
And you had an interesting conversation with somebody in the chat room earlier this morning.
Absolutely. There was a young lady who, you know, was very, very discouraged. She's a veterinary technician, and she was having a difficult time getting a job because none of these people want to hire because they're worried about the health care plan going forward, what's going to be there. So I said, listen, become an independent contractor. Get your own corporate ID. Do it on your own. Go from place to place to place. Take care of that stuff, and you remove that over the employer's head, and you become very attractive.
Yeah, and not a lot of people understand how to do that. It's not that difficult. You can create a company for yourself and then do a health savings account. Talk basically about that.
It's great being your own boss and your own employee. It's a lot of work. There's no doubt about it. You're working 7 days a week when you're your own boss. But you can market yourself in any way, shape, or form. You can write off your car, your gas, restaurant expenses. You're taking clients out to dinner. All sorts of various different things. You take care of your own health insurance using HSA. And then you know what? That employer's going to be like, you know what? You're freelancing. And then you work for a lot of different people. Then the word gets out, and you become more marketable to employers.
You're more marketable to them because you're less expensive for them.
Much less expensive to them. They have to take care. You have to take care of your own FICA. You got to make sure you take care of all this stuff at the end of the year. And there's an added cost because you're going to take care of the employer version. But you know what? You're your own boss.
Thank you so much, Chris.